And as we speak, Supreme Court nominee Elena Kagan being grilled by members of the Senate Judiciary Committee as they work through the process of determining if they'll confirm her appointment to the highest court in the land. And joining us to discuss the hearing is Kevin Walsh. He's a professor at the University of Richmond School of Law. He's a former student of Kagan's at Harvard Law School, so he knows a lot about the Supreme Court, but also knows Kagan pretty well, so it's good to talk to about this. Kevin, thanks for being here.
Sure thing.
Now, Kagan has already been forced to weigh in on some pretty controversial topics early on in this hearing. In particular, her access, or the limited access that she provided military recruiters on the campus of Harvard when she was the dean there. How do you think she handled that give and take with the members of the Senate Judiciary Committee?
Well, I think very tactfully. That was probably the most dramatic moment, or the most dramatic series of questions and answers during the hearing. And Senator Sessions was really pressing her on how the law school responded to a federal court decision dealing with a statute that required schools to give equal access to military recruiters. And one of the issues there that Solicitor General Kagan focused on was that the military still had access to law students. And I can say that if you were a student and you wanted to work for the military, you knew where to find them and you would have been able to interview, but not through the Office of Career Services. So at parts they were talking past each other a little bit, differing interpretations of events, but she certainly held her own. And we'll see how the senators react. I think Senator Leahy says that her testimony has really put this issue to rest, and the Senator Sessions and other senators on the Republican side obviously don't agree.
As happens often with Republicans and Democrats. Right. The other big topic she addressed today, and it was timely because of a ruling that came down yesterday, was on the Second Amendment, and she was given a pretty direct question, and she gave a pretty direct answer. I want to show that to you right now.
Is there any doubt after the court's decision in Heller and McDonald that the Second Amendment to the Constitution secures a fundamental right for an individual to own a firearm, use it for self-defense in their home?
There is no doubt, Senator Leahy. That is binding precedent, entitled to all the respect of binding precedent in any case. So that is settled law.
She called it settled law, that decision. She is being appointed by a Democratic president. Are you surprised that she gave such a definitive response?
Yes and no, and it's always a surprise when you get a very definitive response on the law during these hearings, because that's part of the dance. You can't commit too much. But what she said was that it is binding precedent, and that's the case. I mean, the 5 justices out of 9 on the Supreme Court vote that way, and she's going to treat it as binding precedent. Now, there's rules about when you change your precedents and things like that. I think what was notable about that statement and the definitiveness of it is that the 4 dissenters from the first ruling dealing with gun rights, still in the second ruling, were saying that they disagreed with that earlier one. And so if she is confirmed, she will be the first to be on board with that decision. Right. So she didn't agree with the dissenters.
All right, very quickly. Yep. Any thought process at all that this is going to be anything but an easy road for her to get confirmed?
Not so far from everything we've seen. People should watch it, though. There's a lot of drama and some lighter moments, too.
Okay, all right. Professor, thank you. It's always good to have your insight.
You're welcome.